Hi everyone, this is Kassie and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of September 26 to October the 2nd. If you want to find me for a personal tarot reading, you can find me on my psychic platform www.kassiekai.com, where you will get 3 free minutes with your subscription and more free minutes every month. Just wanted to let you know that I've started posting short videos every day, and that's the card of the day. So if you like my videos and you like the way I interpret the cards, you can subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss anything that comes up. If you want to see last week's predictions, you can find them on the link above. Our deck for today is a very special deck. It's called Tarot of the Divine, and each card is inspired by a folklore myth or a tradition or a story from all over the world. And it's very interesting because you can also read the story and get additional insight on the meaning of the card. But let's see what the future holds for this week. For Aries, we had the 7 of Pentacles and now it's the 10 of Cups. The 7 of Pentacles is a slow energy. It's an energy that will put you in a waiting mode. So developments last week must have been slow. You must have felt impatient. You're an Aries after all. And Aries are not known to be patient. Or you are dealing with someone who's been slow, or they were procrastinating while you wanted to move ahead, to move faster. And that must have caused some contrasts between you, some difficulties in communication. Or you were even waiting for a payment that you didn't get, as Pentacles are also associated with career and financial matters. This week you have the 10 of Cups, a very nice energy, shows a successful completion. So whatever was being slow last week, whatever was delayed, this week you will get it eventually and in a very pleasant way, a very positive way. The 10 of Cups, as all 10s, point to the participation of other people in your life. The 10 of Cups is a group of people, your family or a community, and you will come together in a very positive and pleasant union, in a way that will make you all happy. Maybe you will celebrate a success or the successful end of a stage. For some of you, maybe the next step in your relationship, a chapter that has ended and a new chapter begins. So maybe you will talk about how to make your relationship more committed, more solid, and more official. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they have very positive feelings and they know how they feel about you. They are sure about their feelings, especially if in the past there was confusion and hesitation. You are now starting a more positive phase. 10s in general are the highest manifestation of their suit, and the 10 of Cups is the highest expression of feelings. And this is such a nice energy, so feelings are positive. You may find that in a relationship you have reached the cap of emotional growth. It can't get any more than it is at this stage. The 10 of Cups is Mars in Pisces, and the fiery Mars feels rather uncomfortable in the watery environment of Pisces, as water and fire battle each other, so you may have some difficulty to align your feelings and actions, especially when it comes to intuitive feelings, to what your intuition tells you to do versus what you feel the urge. The 10 of Cups puts the emphasis on the end of the week and the beginning of next week. For Taurus, we had the 8 of Wands and now it's the Fool. The 8 of Wands is a very fast card and it's called swiftness, and it can manifest as surprises, unexpected events, so you must have experienced some unexpected energies last week, or someone was being unpredictable, or someone arrived unexpectedly, and generally it shows fast-paced situations that move in ways that you did not anticipate. It appears that all those developments lead now to a new beginning. Under the energy of the Fool, You will see new possibilities, new options, and many of them, because the energy of the Fool is basically life's infinite potential and possibilities. You may feel a little uncomfortable because many of us, especially Taurus, usually dislike change, unless you have other elements on your astrological chart that show otherwise. But Earth signs in general resist change. They don't look for it, they resist it. So this can cause conflicting feelings because there is a need for change, but at the same time there's also a fear of change. Try to relax and trust that the universe is guiding you to the right direction. The Fool is often about taking a leap of faith, and that's what you will probably have to do this week, to trust the process of life and trust that your destiny is unfolding as it should. Our destinies seem to be straight lines from one point to another, but our free will is an oscillating wave that goes above and beyond that line, and that means how we get where we need to be is up to us. We probably cannot change our destiny, at least not those events that are fated, but our free will allows us to choose how we are going to manifest our soul's purpose. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel attracted to you in a way that's very intense and they want to be with you, but they don't have all the answers you seek. They won't be able to explain to you why they want to be with you. The Fool is like a new soul that has just started to learn its lessons. If you're in a new relationship, don't get too attached too soon. Give it time to develop without pressure and without stress. The Fool is associated with Uranus, and Uranus is a great awakener. It can be rebellious, innovative, and you will probably have to step out of your comfort zone this week. Monday and Tuesday seem to be the strong days of this week. For Gemini, we had the Seven of Wands and now the Hermit. The Seven of Wands is a card of opposition and resistance. You probably had to defend yourself, to defend your ideas, or you got into arguments with someone last week, so energies must have been a little weird, a little upsetting. However, with the Hermit this week you will go within and you will find your own answers, your own truth, regardless of what others want you to do. One thing you will realize with this combination, and that's a very important life lesson, is that all resistance binds you in some way. You will know that in your heart. You will know that the things you are trying to control, the relationship, the person you are trying to control, ends up controlling you. And I see that very often with people who resort to love spells to make someone love them. Those spells usually don't work, and what's worse is that the person who casts the spell ends up obsessed with the person they want to control. So the energy backfires, and that's how the energy of the Seven of Wands and the Hermit can play out. You need to put much attention, much caution, and you need to come to certain realizations about what's possible in a situation and what's not, both in professional and in personal relationships. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel withdrawn, they feel they need to have a better understanding of what is going on, of the demands and the requirements of this relationship, because it's clear that there are some differences and some contrasts in their expectations. They are probably trying to figure out what they want from this. They are interested in you, but their feelings are not as intense as yours at this stage. And that's probably because you can't get them out of your mind. You're continuously thinking about the relationship, thinking about how things should be, etc. And that could make you feel a little distant too, so you will be mirroring each other this week. Now, whether that's a good thing or not, it's up to you to decide, as that's not always bringing the results that you want. However, you will get clarity this week. The Hermit is holding a lantern in his hand, and that means that you are moving towards light, towards clarity. The Hermit is associated with Virgo, and you may have to deal with a Virgo sun or ascendant person this week, while in 9 days from now, you will get a piece of information that will help you see a situation under a different light. For Cancer, we had the Ace of Swords and now it's the Star. After 2 weeks that you got swords cards, and swords are ideas, communications must have been intense the last few weeks. There were talks, messages, information, and it appears that all those talks, all that thinking is leading you now to a place where you can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. The star is another air card and it is associated with Aquarius. So maybe someone who's an Aquarius sun or ascendant, or they have strong air in their chart, requires your attention. Aquarius also symbolizes the future, so your communications this week will continue to be intense and they will be future-oriented. You will be making plans for your future. The star is one of the guiding cards in tarot, and it means that life will give you messages, will give you signs that will show you the right way. Keep in mind that life never runs out of messages, but also keep in mind that life is not happening according to our concepts and how we want things to be. That's why at times we are struggling and we are suffering. We want things to be a certain way, and if we don't get what we want, we get very upset and very depressed. The star invites you to follow its light, to follow the path that energy takes. If there's a resistance, opposition, that's a clear sign that you need to alter your course. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel a little detached emotionally. Maybe it's their personality, and I'm saying that because at times Aquarius people may have strong feelings, but their actions make no sense to people who act in a more conventional and traditional way when they are in love. They want you in their life long term and they want to remain connected to you. Maybe they don't know the steps they will take yet, but they know that they want to have a future with you. If you are okay with that, let things develop, give it a few months and see how it goes, and you will know whether you are a good match or not. This is a good week to make long-term plans, and events may happen that have a karmic feel, as the star is one of the karmic cards in tarot. So maybe you will feel a strong and unexplained attraction for someone or for something, or a twist of fate will change the dynamics of a situation. For Leo, we had the Knight of Swords and now it's the Nine of Swords. 2 air cards for you, Leo. The Knight of Swords is one of the fastest cards in tarot, and it's often an air sun or ascendant person in your life, a person that at times is causing trouble, usually by the words they say, as swords are communication, speech, ideas. So maybe you had an argument last week or a heated conversation, and you are now getting tired of non-stop fighting and arguments. Because keep in mind that this person often disagrees with you just for the sake of it, without a good reason. And maybe that's a pattern in your relationship. Maybe they think that they show their interest to you by being opposed to you, by playing a kind of game that can be very draining. Some people do that. When they like someone, they fight them. That's their issue though, you cannot resolve it. There's not much you can do. The only thing you can do is to let them know that you are running out of patience, and that's the energy of the Nine of Swords basically. It shows that you are reaching the end of a stage and that you are not feeling very positive about this connection anymore. You are feeling that you are getting exhausted by all those conflicts, and you may even decide to take some distance, to take a time out for a few days. And that's what you should do actually, if you feel that things are getting too intense and they affect your mental health. For some of you, the Nine of Swords will manifest as insomnia or problems with sleep. If that's the case with you, do what you need to do, because that will affect other areas of your life. If, for instance, you are depressed about a relationship, that may affect your career or your family life. If you want to know how someone feels about you, their feelings are not very positive at the moment. If you had an argument, they are thinking about that argument. They are very focused on what is not working, instead of being focused on what could bring you together. However, there is hope to salvage this relationship. The Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini, and that means your words and your ability to communicate your thoughts is now very powerful, and you can speak in a way that can resolve any conflicts. However, keep in mind that you are not on the same wavelength with the person you are interested in, and you should try to find some common ground. The end of the week seems to be the strongest, especially when it comes to communications. For Virgo, we had the Eight of Swords and now it's the Death. The Eight of Swords is obstacles, difficulties, restrictions that our own negative thoughts and feelings put in the way. So maybe you felt trapped last week, maybe you felt that you were running out of options, that you were running out of time, that you made effort to get something done but you are not willing to make any more efforts. Also maybe you were scared of other people's judgment, and other people must have caused some problems, especially when it comes to those who have a certain influence on you. So someone who has a strong influence on your life must have told you their opinion about something, and maybe that was an opinion that you didn't even ask for, but you got it anyway, and they influenced the way you think. They influenced you to follow a certain path, but you're not feeling very confident about your choice anymore. The Death is a disruptive card that shows endings and also shows some events that cannot be avoided. No matter what you do, you have to experience something that will be karmic, fated. And I'm not saying that this is an easy energy, as the Death is often a situation that's being forced on us, and there is dissatisfaction, frustration, although it's something that we always see coming. This isn't the Tower that takes us by surprise and shocks us. The Death is an event we know is going to happen, and in many cases we will try hard to avoid it. But if it's written, so to speak, it will happen. The best course of action is to try and go with the flow, no matter how strongly we want to resist change. The Death is also transformation, and that means we can transform something negative into something positive. And the way we do that is by acceptance. If you want to know how someone feels about you, their feelings have been transformed in some way. There is fear in them, insecurity, because they cannot really see the future of your relationship. That can happen for many reasons. Maybe there are other people who are influencing things and they fear the unknowns that your relationship will bring in their other relationships. This card also shows a need for change, so there must be certain aspects of your relationship that aren't working. This card is associated with Scorpio, and there may be a Scorpio sun or ascendant person in your life, and maybe there are mixed feelings about this person. On the one hand, you feel attracted to them, on the other you fear them. The Death card is the number 13, so in 13 days something will come to a head, and the time period between end October and the first half of November will be very important for you. For Libra, we had the Hierophant, and now it is the Ace of Wands. Energies are getting much lighter and much more active. The Hierophant is a card of commitment. It's a very serious energy. It's not fun. It's your obligations, your commitments, your responsibilities, and all those things that must have required your attention and focus last week. Also, a Taurus sun or ascendant person must have played a significant role in your life, or you made something more official, or an important document was issued under this energy. Now, the Ace of Wands makes things more playful, more exciting, and the Ace of Wands is often an idea or the beginning of action. Maybe you had discussions about how to do something last week, you made plans, and now you are taking the first steps towards that goal. And you will be feeling very excited, very optimistic, and your enthusiasm will be contagious. The Ace of Wands is a fire card and you will feel very energized. Your energy levels will get higher this week, especially if you felt a little bored or apathetic the weeks before. Now you will find new interests and new excitement in pursuing your goals. The Ace of Wands shows someone who's very attracted to you, someone who feels a strong sexual connection to you, and generally sexuality is getting more intense this week. And if you met someone new recently, you will feel that they are interested in you because they are going to show you, to take action to show you. Action that may not be very romantic because wands are mostly about the physical manifestation of fire, but in any case you will know how they feel because they will show you. Like all aces, the Ace of Wands is like a seed that you have to nurture, you have to care for in order for it to grow, which means that their energy is a bit weak and it can easily be exhausted. So if you're just starting something, make sure that you keep putting your energy in it. The beginning of the week seems quite interesting, and around Monday or Tuesday you will probably receive an important message that will push you to take action. For Scorpio, we had the Four of Swords and now the Seven of Swords. You are still under the energy of swords, and swords are our thoughts, communications, speech. It's the way we communicate our thoughts, the way we express ourselves. And with the Four of Swords you had last week, there must have been a pause, delays, slow-moving energies, and things slowed down. Maybe you yourself decided not to take action and you decided to retreat since you didn't feel like taking action anymore and you wanted to withdraw for a while and to recharge your batteries, so to speak, to replenish your energy. Or maybe you were sick because the Four of Swords is often associated with recovery and with health. So last week must have been a bit slow for you. Now the Seven of Swords will speed things up a little bit. However, I suggest caution and that you don't rush into situations blindly, because under the energy of the Seven of Swords, you can never be sure that things are the way they appear to be, and appearances can be deceptive. There might be someone who will try to present a situation that's not realistic, but I expect that you will be able to feel that there's something off. So this week, trust your intuition, trust your gut feelings, knowing that your intuition is always there and it's always guiding you. For some of you, the Seven of Swords will manifest as alternative solutions and an alternative way of thinking, and you will start thinking outside the box. You will be willing to try new things and different approaches, and that's good because the Four of Swords of last week and Fours in general show stagnation. And there's a need for change, especially if you didn't get the results you were hoping for. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they are not showing you their true feelings, and that's happening for many reasons. Maybe they are not ready to acknowledge their feelings, or maybe there are things that they don't want to share, especially if there are other people involved in the situation, because in some cases the Seven of Swords indicates cheating. So if cheating is involved, maybe you want to reassess a situation and decide whether you want to continue with someone or not. The end of the week seems to be the strongest, especially Sunday. For Sagittarius, we had the Queen of Swords and now it's the Three of Cups. That's a change of vibe for you Sagittarius, because the Queen of Swords is an air sign, and with this person there might have been arguments, because the Queen of Swords will not mince her words, and she won't tell you what you want to hear. So maybe someone told you something that you didn't like, or something that you took the wrong way. However, there was truth in what they told you, maybe a truth that you didn't want to accept, and you felt they were trying to push your buttons for the sake of it. Now, the Three of Cups is changing this situation, because the Three of Cups is the card of friendship. So if there has been a conflict with someone, now there will be reconciliation and things will get back on track. You will feel that they are getting more open, more mellow, more communicative, and maybe they will invite you to do something fun together or to attend an event, a social gathering, and there will be other people there, like-minded people, like friends, and you will experience some very pleasant moments this week. The Three of Cups shows that someone has friendly feelings for you. If it's someone you just met, if it's someone you like, their feelings have not yet turned romantic, but they may get there because the Three of Cups shows growth. However, you should not put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, because the Three of Cups shows you will have several other options around you. So if you feel that with someone things are not progressing as fast as you'd like them to progress, or they are going back and forth, or they are not clear on how they feel and they are giving you mixed signals, maybe you should not close other doors that are opening for you, and you will find that there are people who will show more interest and more appreciation to you. The Three of Cups is Mercury in Cancer, and Mercury is the way we think, the way we communicate, and Cancer is sensitive and emotional. So our talks, our thoughts will revolve around feelings, and our feelings will color the nature and the quality of those conversations. Also, communications will be more positive, so if someone was acting up in the previous weeks or was distant and unresponsive, this week you will notice improvement and there will be progress and more flow in your communications. The significant day of this week seems to be Wednesday, when you will feel those energies the most. For Capricorn, we had the World and now the Five of Wands. The World marks the completion of the stage. It's when something comes to a head, when a chapter ends and a new one begins. And the World is a very inclusive card in the sense that includes many different energies, many different situations. So maybe there were many things in your life last week and you were dealing with different situations at once, and you felt that things were moving in a positive way and you were able to sort out several different issues. Now the Five of Wands will put you in the center of attention this week, and you will have to go through a process of competition, and there will be a situation that you will require that you stand out somehow. So maybe you have to deal with competitors at work, people who are going after the same reward, or in your love life you may have a rival to deal with, or somehow you will have to prove yourself right. The energy of the Five of Wands is very active because Wands are fire cards, so if things have been slow, now you will notice that things are speeding up and many developments will happen this week, one after another. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there is attraction, there is sexual desire, there is warmth and interest, no doubt about that. But there are also power struggles in your relationship, and in many cases you are fighting just for the sake of it, without a serious reason. And there might be a dynamic, a certain pattern that keeps replaying, and you are getting into some sort of conflict, some sort of contrast all the time. Now that can be exhausting at times, or it could be something that keeps your relationship alive. But if you feel tired of it, you may want to start exploring other options, because you will have other options and there will be those who will fight for your attention. Friday seems to be the strong day of this week, when the energy of the Five of Wands will reach its culmination and you will stand out in some way. For Aquarius, we had the Knight of Cups and now it's the Empress. The Knight of Cups is a romantic energy, it's a love energy, it puts emphasis on your relationships and on your romantic partner, and there must have been some very interesting developments in love, some very positive moments, maybe an invitation to a nice dinner or to a weekend away, something that made you feel really good. And this week you will still be dealing with the same energies, as the Empress too is a love card, so you will feel that your relationship is getting stronger and things are getting more solid. The Knight of Cups is a water card, but the Empress is an earth card, and water and earth blend well together because they can create a solid foundation to build upon. This week you will be busy with the practical aspects of your relationship in order to make it stronger. The Knight of Cups represents the emotional aspects of it, but you need both for a relationship to be balanced and solid. Feelings are necessary, but they are never enough for a relationship to flourish. You need to align your goals, your expectations, in order to make something stable and long-lasting. The Empress is associated with Venus, and these days we have Venus in Virgo, and that means we are going to establish some new routines that will be quite pleasant though, like health or beauty routines, or a new and relaxing habit. Friday seems to be a very significant day, as that's the day associated with Venus, but Wednesday looks strong too. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel very connected to you, they want a future with you, there is sexual attraction, there are romantic feelings, and feelings are getting stronger because the Empress shows growth, and in general this is a very good card for love. One of the difficult manifestations of the Empress would be that someone is very protective or over-possessive of you. So if you take the slightest distance, they will panic and they will try to pull you into the relationship again in fear they will lose you. And for some of you, that can be a little suffocating. For Pisces, we had the Fool and now it's the Moon. Another major arcana card for you, Pisces. You are going through a very significant period of your life with many different energies. The cards you got the last few weeks are very powerful and very different, and that means you are dealing with different aspects of your life, and the universe is giving you now the opportunity to make adjustments and to improve several areas of your life, and you should take advantage of this energy. Last week maybe something new was offered to you, an opportunity, a new beginning, or a new person in your life. And now with the Moon, things can be a little confusing because it shows intense feelings, so your emotions will be intensified this week. And as a result, you may feel unsure of the direction you need to take. The Moon indicates there will be some fears, some insecurities that will be triggered this week. So maybe someone may say something to you or do something and you will feel confused about their intentions, especially if you don't know how they feel about you, and that could cause some anxiety. If you want to know how they feel, truth is that their feelings are not solid or stable yet. There are many mood swings, many ups and downs emotionally. One day they feel one way, another day another way. So if you are feeling confused, maybe you are picking up on their confusion and you are mirroring them. They don't know how to proceed as there are many unknowns in your connection. Maybe there are other people involved that make things more complicated. In any case, this energy will probably continue for a few weeks, 3-4 weeks at the most, with all those ups and downs, but then things will start stabilizing. Key moments will be the new moon of this month on the 25th or 26th, depending on where you live, and the full moon of next month. So around that time, try not to take action, not to make drastic decisions or drastic changes. See how things are unfolding and what kind of energies are playing out, and then you will start noticing improvement and more stability. Monday seems to be the strongest day of this week, as it is associated with the moon, but I also expect that the day of the new moon, September the 25th or 26th, like I said, we have a new moon in Libra, which will affect our personal relationships and generally the balance of our lives. So these were the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of September the 26th to October the 2nd. I hope you enjoyed them and I will see you next week. Have a nice and productive week.